Okay, so I'm going to swap cameras. Everybody can see and hear me okay. I know we had some problems one of the sessions with the volume, so hopefully everybody can see and hear okay. I'm just going to let that person in. So standing, just move that because I can't see myself on the screen and I can't see all there. Brilliant. Standing position. Start off by just giving yourself a little bit of a bounce. Just letting go a little bit, waking ourselves up. Some of you might have been out early running or doing your practice early on. But just shaking, using the heels into the ground, so getting the heels into the ground, shaking the wrists. Really feeling that release in the shoulders, the neck. So just letting everything go. And to start off with the breathing, just lips lightly together, tongue resting just gently on the roof of the mouth. And just let the breath be natural, so not doing anything particularly with the breath, just breathing in and out through the nose. And then just slow it down. And then just bring the feet a little bit closer together so you're in a comfortable standing posture. And just take a minute just to feel now that release, that energy, that vibration just settle through the body. So again, these sessions are a combination of the oxygen advantage, a little bit of Qigong style practice. So I'm not a Qigong coach, but I use a lot of the ideas of that slow, fluid, efficient movement to tie in with a slow, fluid, efficient breathing, that mind-body connection. Let's just put our hands across our lower abdomen. So here in Qigong, Tai Chi, this point in the lower abdomen is the center, or it's referred to as a lower dantian. And let's just bring the focus of the breathing just down into the center of the body. So again, just following a natural breath. We're not doing anything different. I don't want you to breathe into the belly. I just want you to be aware of, as you're breathing in, breath is coming down. So the diaphragm is here, the diaphragm will push down. So you'll just feel that little bit of movement in the belly. Coming out. And as you breathe out, a little bit of movement coming back towards the spine. But again, really stressing that we're not deliberately moving the body, breathing into the belly. Just be aware. Easy breathing in and out through the nose. Jaw relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you prefer to keep the eyes open, just keep the eyes open. Keep a soft gaze, watch the video, whatever you feel comfortable with. And just in your head, I'd just like you to count 3 breaths. So 1 on the in-breath, all the way through to the out-breath. And then 2, then 3. But just in your own time, in your own head. So you're just making a mental note. Really bringing the focus to the center. And then just let the arms rest by the side. Move around if you need to move around a little bit. Again, don't want to create any excess stress or tension through the body, any rigidity, so feel free to move the shoulders. Give the feet a little bit of a wiggle again. Now what I'd like you to do is pop your hands on the side of the ribs. When we do this, just make sure you don't start to hunch the shoulders or tighten the shoulders or force the ribs forward. So literally, I'll just show you from the side. Just pop the hands on the side of the ribs there. Let the shoulders just drop down and get your fingers or your thumbs actually in the back of the ribs here, so you can really feel the ribs there. And again, we're just going to bring attention to the breath. And again, we're not guiding or changing anything. You're just noticing as you're breathing in and out through the nose. Can you feel those? The rib cage, the ribs just expanding out to the side. And again, just in your own mind, in your own head, just count 3 breaths. At your own pace, in your own rhythm. So you're not changing the way your body's breathing at the moment, we're just checking in. And then just rest the arms by the side. Again, move around if you need to move around. We're going to go back to this one. So when you're ready, just pop your hands on your ribs again. And this time we are going to guide the breath. So I'm going to ask you to take a fuller breath. So we're going to breathe a greater volume of air, excuse me, to deliberately, if you like, get the ribs to float out as much as we can. So we're bringing the diaphragm down, bringing the ribs out, and you can use your hands to actually push in a little bit. So you can use it as a little bit of resistance. So I'll deliberately ask you to take a fuller, deeper breath in. Now when we do this, watch that we don't start to hike up the shoulders and bring any tension to this upper chest and the shoulders and the neck. So there's a big difference between a soft, fuller breath. All we do is expanding the ribs rather than creating tension in the shoulders. We'll take a fuller breath in, we'll pause it for a couple of seconds at the top, and then we'll take a active breath out. So this is where we can actually breathe out through the mouth. Now there's nothing wrong when we're doing a breathing practice to use the mouth as a release breath or a sigh out. It's only if we're looking at breathing in everyday life, if we're over breathing, if we're breathing out through the mouth, or if we have that sort of like habitual sighing where it can be looked at as a dysfunctional breathing pattern. But because we're doing this as a deliberate practice, it's an active out breath, so you're pulling the diaphragm back up and you're exhaling through the mouth with an active exhale. Because we're slowing the breath down, we won't be over breathing. So get yourself balanced. You might want to give a little bit of bend in the knees if your legs are starting to lock out a little bit. Get your hands on the side of the ribs. In through the nose, so fuller breath in. Expand those ribs out, little pause, and then and you can almost push a little bit of extra breath out. You're bringing that diaphragm up. And then just let the breath settle. So just breathe easy. So we're looking at the biomechanics, we're looking at how the ribs are working, how the diaphragm is working. I will do one more, so a fuller breath in through the nose, expanding the middle. Again, watch there's no tension in the shoulders, we're not hiking the shoulders up. Little pause at the top, and then let the breath settle, just to really make sure we're not over breathing. We shouldn't feel dizzy at all. Let's do one more. So slow, full, deep breathing. Breathe in, expand the ribs out, so the ribs are expanding out to the side. A little pause at the top, and then relax. Just bring the arms by the side and let the breath settle. Really feel you're bringing your body back to balance. You're breathing back into the center. One of the things I've been really exploring in my own practice and in my teaching is the different methods, so the different techniques. So I teach oxygen advantage and I teach chi running. There are different breathing techniques, there are different breathing practices, but if you look at them all individually and bring them all together, they're all making sense in their own way and all saying the same thing. And the simplest way I find of looking at it is that what we want to focus on is a breathing practice where we're deliberately guiding the breath, or we have an intention of what we're doing with the breath to how we're breathing in everyday life. And this is why, for me, the oxygen advantage works so well, because we're looking at functional breathing in everyday life. It's pointless to me, I'm not saying it's wrong to do this, to be really just focusing on big full breaths if we have the wrong intention of why we're doing that. And it's also, we don't want to be thinking, oh, I can never breathe out through the mouth because I'm supposed to be breathing all the time through the nose, because actually sometimes you just need a and a release. And that's what's nice about some of the Qigong practice I've been doing personally, is just noticing that actually just letting go of the breath a little bit and using that release as an out breath can make a big difference, and then it allows you to settle into that really nice, soft, relaxed, comfortable breathing. And we do have to have the biomechanics to breathe efficiently. If we're locked here, if we're all restricted here, then we're not going to be breathing as efficiently or as softly or as lightly as we can be. So let's just do another release breath. So what I'd like you to do again is just a little bit of a shake into the heels. And we're going to bring a bit of movement into it. So we're going to go a little bit wider on the stance, and we're going to actually a little bit of give in the knees, so a deliberate bend of the knees, so you're sitting into the ground, so you're really feeling contact with the ground. And I'll keep showing you from the side actually. So what I'd like you to do is sit back with the hips and then just let the arms float up. So you come tall, and then the arms float down. So the arms are quite heavy. And what I want you to imagine is that actually it's the power from the center and from the hips that are sending those arms up under spine. And I want you to almost get that wave through the spine, because again, when we're looking at breathing apparatus, breathing muscles, breathing structure, we always focus on the ribs and the diaphragm. But actually, the ribs are connected to the spine. And if the spine's not healthy and flexible and moving, then your rib cage isn't going to be as flexible and fluid. So therefore, you're not going to breathe as efficiently. So almost, I'm going to exaggerate the movement. It's almost like rippling the spine. The spine is designed with individual vertebrae that extend and rotate. It's not a fixed rod through the body. So floating arms up. And if we just bring some coordination with the breath now, I'll just change forwards. We're breathing in through the nose. So this is nice, light, soft, easy breathing. And also the movement is fluid. It's smooth, it's slow. Breathing in, breathing out. In through the nose. It's just soft, 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 soft. We're not drawing breath into the body. Don't want to hear any pulling of breath in through the nose. That's another thing to be aware of when we talk about nasal breathing, is it's not about sniffing into the body. It's about just opening the space here, opening that space in the front, the nasal cavity. And see if we can slow the breath with the movement. Breathing in and breathing out. We're still breathing deep, but we're not necessarily breathing a huge volume of air into the body. Again, one of the things that we really focus on in the Oxygen Advantage, the foundation of efficient breathing, is making sure we breathe to our metabolic needs. Breathe just the right amount of air that our body requires. So for this practice, your body will need a certain amount of oxygen to actually create this flowing movement. We're not over breathing, we're just breathing with it. But what I'd like you to do is see if you can create the breath with the rhythm of the movement. So you're breathing in, slow breath in, slow breath out through the nose. Slow breath in. Keep the movement fluid as well. Use the whole body. So it's not just moving the arms. So there's a big difference between just standing there and going, I'm moving my arms up and down. If you want to go to the gym and do that, you can go to the gym and do that. If you want some nice fluid movement, whole body, the spine's involved, the legs are involved, the ground is involved. And then just let the arms come down to the side, and then just walk the feet together. So that's quite a nice, calm, relaxing, powerful, strong. The legs have got to be strong. You've got to be grounded and strong. The breath is calm, easy, rhythmical breath. We'll do now a release breath with a similar type of movement. So what we'll do now is we'll come up onto the toes, and then actually you can let the breath out. So it's a different type of breathing practice. It's a fuller breath in as you come up, and then as you come down, it's an exhale, an active exhale, letting the breath out, releasing the breath out. So again, breathing in through the nose. See if we can come up on the toes, and let it go. So it's a clearing breath, a releasing breath. And again, when you come up, make sure you're not bringing loads of tension up here. You're still breathing deep into the body. Fuller breath in, and let go. Just let the arms swing. Let's do 2 more like that. Fuller breath in, and falling over again. Let go. And 1 more. Fuller breath in, through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. So 2 very different practices. One is nice and smooth and rhythmical. The other one is still smooth. it's not straining, it's not stressing, it's not over pushing the body. You're still in control, but it's just a different type of practice, just to let go and let go of any physical tension, any emotional tension. It's a really nice way of releasing. Okay, give the legs a little bit of a shake out. We'll come back to the spine again, because again, the spine is really important, obviously, in terms of making sure that our breathing apparatus is working well. We're going to take the feet about shoulder width again, a little bit of bend in the knees, and we've worked on flexion and extension a little bit, so now we're going to work a little bit more on rotation. So you're going to bring your arms up to that sort of like I surrender position. We're going to start with the hips, so I'm going to mirror you. So I'm going to move towards the right, so your hip goes back, lower back, mid back, upper back, and then just have a little look over the shoulder, and then come back to center, and then left, so hips lead, lower back, rib cage, upper back. Have a look behind you. Come back to center. Now again, this is slow. This is really, really slow. It's not forced. I don't want you to strain. If the breath changes, if you start to hold the breath, you've gone too far. Really want to get that difference between, I'm not doing a stretch as such. It's just a smooth, fluid rotation to actually help to lengthen the spine and rotate the spine. And just pause in the center for a second, bring the arms back to the side. The key to this is keeping that spine long and tall. So thinking about grounding from your center of gravity here to the earth, so the feet are really strong, and at the same time lifting the crown of the head up to the sky. So if I'm rotating and doing this, you're not getting that good quality rotation through the spine. So actually you want to be thinking of reaching up to the sky through the crown as you rotate. So I'm not down here, so really create like a central rotational axis through that crown of the head through the spine. So let's do that a couple more times. So just breathing easy in and out through the nose. So when you're ready, let's go to the right first. So hips lead, lower back, mid back, thoracic spine, back to the center, breathing easy in and out through the nose. Balance. Just keep the breath easy. It can be with the movement if you want to go with the movement, so you could take a long, slow breath in and breath out, or as long as you're breathing easy, smooth, rhythmical, in and out through the nose. No holding of the breath. So if we do any breathing practice where we pause the breath or hold the breath, we do it for a very specific intention, a very specific purpose. So for the purpose of this practice, we don't want any unintentional breath holds. While you are, if you're working today at a computer, or if you're working or doing anything, just have a check-in with how you're breathing. Make sure you're not doing any unintentional breath holds. I was reading somewhere where they're talking about email apnea, where you're reading your emails and you're holding the breath. And it's quite common, quite a few people have said to me, and I've done it myself, is you're really concentrating and working, and actually, are you breathing? and then rest there. Just bring the arms down to the side. Good. We've done a little bit of work on the spine. We've done a little bit of work on the rib cage and the biomechanics. Grab a comfortable resting posture, so you can sit or you can stay standing, but ideally if you sit, you can sit on a chair or sit on a cushion, and we'll just spend the last couple of minutes so if you're sitting on a chair and you've got your feet on the ground, just check in with your feet contacted with the ground. Where your sits bones are, where your sitting bones are, you can still keep that tall spine. So keep that long, tall spine, but without it becoming rigid or tense. And we're just going to keep the lips lightly together, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. And as we did at the beginning, just check in with the breath. The lips are lightly together, tongue resting gently on the roof of the mouth. Just noticing your breathing. So we're going to add some guidance, and what I would like you to do is at the top of the in-breath, just give yourself a little beat, so give yourself a little bit of space. So it's a little bit of a suspension or a pause, so it's almost like if you're watching a swing, you go to the top, pause, and then it swings back down. So that's the only bit I want you to do for the next few breaths, is just a normal breath in, pause, normal breath out. And it's just 1 or 2 seconds, it's just a real awareness, just focus on that space between the in and the out breath. And I'd like you just to follow 3 more breaths, so count your breaths again. So 1, pause, out. And then obviously 2, and then 3. Just enjoy the space, enjoy the silence between the in and the out breath. And then just breathe easy. Excellent. So we did a little bit more movement today to get the rib cage movement, get the rib cage moving, get the spine moving. Have a little explore with those movements during the week. Next week I'm going to do a similar practice. I want to spend a little bit more time in this resting posture, in just the calming breath, but we will do a little bit of a warm-up again to start off with, because it's important to obviously get the space in the lungs, the space in the rib cage, to actually get you to breathe nice and fluid and calm and efficient. This will be on the training portal. Please do leave any comments or any suggestions that you want to see over the next few weeks. Any of the exercises you enjoy, any of the exercises you don't enjoy, so I can really plan on how to move forwards with these classes. Thank you so much for your time. Really good to see you all again on Zoom. And Thursday is the movement class. We'll be doing some more of these movements, but focusing more on the movement. And I will hopefully see you again next Tuesday breathing. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye.